One of the clearest pieces of evidence for God's existence for me personally is love. Not a drive to preserve the genetic pool. Love, not a romantic feeling. Love instead is the ability to work for the good, to work for the success, to work for the well-being of the other person. I've experienced that kind of love, and I've received that kind of love, and I've observed that kind of love in others. Robert Coles was doing some research on child psychology. He went to New Orleans to get to know Ruby Bridges, this young girl who was being used to bust segregation and bring integration into the school system in New Orleans. Dr. Robert Coles observed this young black girl, Ruby Bridges, walking up a path, a sidewalk, to the schoolhouse. On both sides of the walkway were white adults screaming hatred at this young black girl entering an elementary school. One day, Robert Coles observed that she stopped and went over to one of the adults and talked. But she denied that to him afterwards. And she said, "No, I wasn't talking with them. I was praying for them." And Dr. Robert Coles says, "Ruby, you don't have to do that." And she said, "I know I don't have to do it, but that's what Jesus calls me to do, to pray for my enemies." And Robert Coles began to understand this little girl is able to deal with incredible hatred because she loves her enemies. That's exactly what Christ calls us to do, and that experience is showing very clearly that there's more to reality than matter and energy. There's a quality of love. Therefore, there's got to be some type of spiritual being who creates us. Therefore, God exists.
Mine would be the unreasonable effectiveness of mathematics. Why does math even work? It's immaterial, fitting a very material world, cosmos. And so when you see the logical complexities, the creative matter within math, that actually what we have with our concepts, the Pythagorean theorem, all of our different equations, that it actually fits the realities out there, there has to be a designer, there has to be a great mathematician. And so when you truly think about it, these philosophical concepts, that they connect to reality, that there's actually a mind behind it all, makes way more sense than if you think, oh, somehow those realities, those mathematical realities just hang there, they're just out there, and we can grasp them with our physical non-material as well, minds and brains. It doesn't make sense if there's not a great design.